Okay, and let's chant the Shanti mantra also. Om Tachayyoravrimahe Gatum Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastu Swastirmanushebyah Urdvam Jigatu Bheshajam Shanno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. So we had finished the first five mantras of the Purusha Sukta. So I said Purusha Sukta. One is the physical.
Sunil, can you think you can summarize the first last one in like maybe a few minutes so that I joined for a second.
Yeah. So the first two creations, right? There are two. One is the creation of the universe that start with the seed, which is the Mula Prakriti, right? The Mula Prakriti is the seed through which the Jada Prakriti becomes the universe. That's the physical things. That is, if you look at Prapancha, there is two kinds of Prapancha: Rupatmaka Prapancha, Namatmaka Prapancha. So they call Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha. That means names and forms. So for all the forms, the seed is Mula Prakriti. For all the forms, the seed is Mula Prakriti. For all the names, or in the sense that for all the knowledge, the seed is Om. Right? So we took the Omkara last time. I said Omkara is basically resolved into three. Even though it is resolved into 8 parts, for creation we need 3 parts. And what is that? A, U, Ma. It starts with A, U, Ma. And I've explained A is negation and U, Ma is Jnana. All of those things during the Gayatri Mantra discussion. A is creation, U is sustenance, Ma is Laya. Right? All of those. That becomes 3 Vyakritis. Vyakritis are Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha. That expansion of Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha becomes the Gayatri's Tripada. That is Tat Savitur Varenyam. Second pada Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. And third pada Dhiyo Yona Prachodya. So these are the 3 padas of Gayatri that emerges from Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, and Swaha. Right? So when you do the Gayatri chanting, you are tracing the path of the creation of knowledge. Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha, in the Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha, Namatmaka Prapancha is the Gayatri Mantra, which is what we are, just the physical Gayatri Mantra itself traces from Om. When you say Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, so that Om is resolved in the Bhur Bhuva Swaha, and then the Gayatri Mantras Tripada. So the emergence of these 3. Then the Gayatri Mantras Tripada, 3 parts of 3 becomes 3 parts riks, 16 mantras. Right? Please mute. Right? So Purusha Sukta has 16 mantras. So 16 mantras. So 5, 5, and 6. Those are the 3 parts. 5, 5, 6. Actually, it is like 5, 6, 5. I'll explain to you how it is. But the division is 5, 5, 6. And then the Akara or the Bhuhu and the first part of the Gayatri Mantra, the expansion of the meaning of that is the first 5 mantras of Purusha Sukta. So let me summarize the first 5 mantras. I said,
Sunil, we lost you.
Must be the Wi-Fi. I think he would know that he has been locked out or something.
Yes, it looks like Sana, you have something very nice behind you.
That is the mandala
Oh,
art, yeah,
great.
taken from my daughter's dorm. So I had been eyeing it. The moment she finished college, I took it and put it for
Nice.
myself. The funny thing is, it's not from India, though the whole thing, the concept is Indian, but it is purchased somewhere in Spain or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely similar to the mandala that we studied actually.
Yeah, but so this is all appropriation. Our symbols and our concepts are all appropriated, and nobody would even say that it's Indian now today.
Wow. Yeah, till Sunil taught it, I didn't even know anything about it.
Mm. Sunil's iPhone is okay. With iPhone, I don't think can show the document, I guess.
It's probably Bhavna's using it.
So, sorry, what did you say?
Bhavna is probably using his iPhone to
Oh.
listen.
Okay, he's come back.
Yeah, it's me. I'm trying to. He's upstairs. I'm downstairs.
Okay.
We are still having our breakfast going on.
Yeah. Okay, recording is still going. Okay, fine. Yeah. So hold on. Let me share again.
Where are you?
Where
Okay.
Where am I?
You're coming like a voice from space.
Oh, the camera is not turned on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was saying the first 5 is about the Purusha, the Paramatma, before creation. Creation is not started yet, before creation. So this is the Parama Purusha, where, it says Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasrapat. So, it's like Vishwarupa. Innumerable legs, innumerable eyes, innumerable mouths, all of those things, everything, right? Different versions of Purusha Sukta have different. Sahasravahu Purusha is Yajurveda mantra. So all of those things. Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva, that means the Jada Prakriti or the Mula Prakriti, he has wrapped Mula Prakriti around from inside, from outside, everything. But yet he stands apart from creation. He stands apart from everything else, but yet he is in and everything and around everything. But Dashangulam, right? Atishta Dashangulam. He's here, but he's still infinitely further, right? He's kind of, you cannot touch. Purusha Evedam Sarva. Everything that we see here, everything Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha, Paramatma is the Antaryami and is the one that is the prime mover of everything that happens in this world. And then he is beyond the Amrutas, that means the Mukta Jivas who are there before. And then he is beyond the future creation or even the previous creation of those mortals that depend on food, Anna, right? So he's beyond all of those. He's beyond the past creation, he's beyond the future creation, he's beyond the current, he's beyond everything. And etavanasya mahima ato jayamscha purushaha. Whatever has been told, that this much is his mahima, that is his greatness. But that is just, it captures one in the ocean that he is. He's beyond words, he's beyond knowing, he's beyond everything, right? Ato jayamscha padosya vishwabhutani tripadasya divi. So his just one form is all within creation as all of our Antaryami.
So what created Mula Prakriti then? So Mula Prakriti is something parallelly being created without involvement of Purusha? That's what you're saying?
No, Mula Prakriti is it's like there is no, just like Jiva, it has no beginning, no end, right? So it is, but Jivas are all dormant. So coming out of dormant state and getting a body is called Jiva's birth. Mula Prakriti doesn't have that birth. Mula Prakriti is always there, but it is there not with its own power, but with the power of this Purusha, is what it's saying. Right? Mula Prakriti is the Prakriti and Purusha. The Purusha of Prakriti and Purusha is this Purusha. Right?
Sunil, Prakriti doesn't have consciousness?
Prakriti, the conscious Prakriti, which we call Shri Bhu Durga, and the inanimate Prakriti, which is what is called as Jada Prakriti, right? Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti, which what Gita says. Prakriti and Shri Bhu Durga, 3 forms. Apara Prakriti is Jada. That is the physical physical from which the whole universe, right? It's the physical sub. The
So
Abhimanini of that
there is a
substance.
conscious part and there is a non-conscious part, you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Krishna says in the Gita, he calls that Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. Paraprakriti is the Chetana, that is Shri Bhu Durga, 3 forms that presides over Sattva, Rajas, Tamoguna, which is Jada Prakriti. Okay. So he Tato Vishwam Vyakramat Sashana Nashane Abhi. That means all things that are functioning in the previous creation cycles, all those will function in the creation that's coming up. They are Sa Ashana Ashane Abhi. That means he's in front. Abhimukataha. All the Ashana and Sashana are. That means the immortals are, the mortals within the inanimate and animate, all of them are but his reflection. That means he is the original source. Everything else is just his reflection, in the sense that if he acts, it acts. If he does, it does. So
even the Prakriti is a reflection of the Purusha.
Prakriti is reflection means this is a metaphorical, not a physical reflection. Reflection means what? Reflection means there are 2 kinds. Sadrishyatvat, right? Sadrishyatvat means similarity. There is a similarity between Paramatma and the Chetanas, and then the dependence, Aswatantrya. The reflection, the reflected depends on the source for being and becoming. So that relationship is captured as source and its reflection. So it's not, you should not understand it as an actual fact. It is a metaphorical relationship, how it is expressed, an expressed relationship. Our relationship to God or Paramatma is of a source and its reflection. Jiva is a reflection of Paramatma, in the sense that our nature, there is a kinchit sadrishya. We have similarity. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Similarity with Paramatma. Like a drop of water is similar to the ocean, a Jiva is similar to Paramatma. And just like the reflected completely depends on its being and becoming on the source for all of all our activities, for everything that we do, Paramatma is the source through which he independently does, we dependently do.
This is similar to what's in the Bible also, right? Where the Bible also says similar things. Man in the reflection of the divine or something.
No.
Oh.
That comes later on, but that is, we'll see that in the 3rd part of it.
Okay.
Man is in the image of God. That is true. That is what Purusha Sukta is. That is what the 3rd part of Purusha Sukta is. Paramatma came in the image of a man, and then man is actually an image of Paramatma. Physical image, as in the form that a man is. If you look at sociological theories, they say man created God in his image. But the Purusha Sukta says God created man in his image of Purusha Vida. So it's the other way. It's they say anthropomorphic representation of the divine. It is actually the other way. The divine was in that form, and he created man in that form, which is the 3rd part.
But if one of the animals are as intelligent and smart as a human being, God would be in the same form.
God is in every form, right? Vishwakarma,
I mean, not
Vishwanama,
necessarily in the not necessarily
Sarvanama,
in human form. Yeah.
It is, yeah, human form. This talks about human form. Why shouldn't God be in human form?
No, it's a special case. Basically, the human case is a special case, whereas there are other forms like animals, which are also
Yeah, it's like
also a
when we
reflection.
say Sarva Rupa, why
Hmm.
animals? Even stone,
Hmm.
the forms that you see and think, Paramatma is in that form. The name that you can think and pronounce and not pronounce, Paramatma is in that name. That is everything. Right? The I3 Aranyaka says, not Sarva Veda, Sarva Ghosha. It means every sound is the name of God, is what it says. Every sound. So a dog barking is also a name of God in that sense, right? So it is not just human, it is the self is the name of Paramatma, is what it says. Good? Got it?
Yeah, basically everything is trying to tell us that we need to see Bhagwan in everything, in everything, whether real, I mean, whether material or not material. Yeah.
And I think if we go into the creation part, and maybe things may become a little bit clear to us.
It's actually, but it's hard to prove one way or the other, like, in fact, anthropomorphic is easier to prove. The other way is not possible to prove at all. Sunil?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
You're disappearing very often.
Yeah. Okay, so Tato Vishwamekranot Sashanashana Ashane Abhi. Tasmat, so we had come to the point of creation. Tasmat Virad Ajayata. That is the Jada Prakriti. Virad. See, Rat means what? Not English rot. Rat, like Raja, right? Raja. What is, where is that Raj? Where does that come from? Raj. The root.
Somebody who takes care of the other people, something like Ramayate, something.
No, that Ram.
Yes.
Raj is the Dhatu.
Something to do with Rajas, I think.
No. Raj means, that is Raj. This is Raj. Rat. All of those things have come from Raj, which means that which shines. That which shines is Raj. Right? Virajamana means that which is shining, that which is gloriously shining. Right? Virat means the Padma. That means in the Jnana. See, you should understand this. When it says from the Vishnu Nabhi, Padma came, and from Padma, lotus came, and from lotus, Brahma came, right? But then creation has not even started. Where is the lotus? Right? So these are the forms that the rishis in their Jnana Chakshus are seeing that they are seeing that this is a glorious light that has come forth. And from growth, and this is very before the physical creation. Physical creation, we'll go through that, is in 9 steps. I've taught this in the previous classes, but this is even before the physical creation. There's no universe yet. There is this shining Virat. Virat means, Vishesha Rat. That means glorious shine that has come up, right? Tasmat Virala Jayata. Virajo Adhi Purusha. Within that is the first Purusha. Is the first Adhi Purusha, means he who is above all of them. Adhi, like an Adhikritya Tishtati iti Adhi. Adhi means, he has the Adhikara, or the position, the highest position. And that is Hiranyagarbha Brahma. So Hiranyagarbha Brahma has come from this lotus. So variously it is said it's lotus and all of those. But basically it is the Virat, which is the Jada Prakriti. The Jada Prakriti, within the Jada Prakriti, Brahma, and within him, Adi Purusha, which is Paramatma. So we have seen before creation, the Purusha, Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. And then when the first creation happened of Brahma, within him, his Antaryami is also Adi Purusha. That is the second Rupa of Purusha. That means once he becomes, like in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Tat Srishtva, Tadevanu Pravishat, Tadanu Pravishya, Satcha, Tyacha Bhavad, Niruktancha, Nilayanancha, Anilayanancha. So that what it says is Tat Srishtva, Tadeva Anupravishat. That means he created and then he did Anupravesha. That means he went into his creation to energize from within. So here the Adi Purusha is not Hiranyagarbha Brahma, the first person, like the first of creation is Hiranyagarbha Brahma, but that Adi Purusha is also Paramatma as the Antaryami within him. So that is his second form. That is the second form of Purusha. One who is everywhere and one who is the Antaryami within Hiranyagarbha himself. The creator himself, within him is the engine of creation, which is Paramatma. The seed of creation is within Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is nothing but the instrument or tool in the hands of this Adi Purusha, who is within him. Right? So this is where we have come, that at the point of creation, Hiranyagarbha Brahma has been born. Right? So to understand the next 5, actually it's next 6. I'll explain why it is next 6. We have to look at the theory of creation within the Vedanta. So Vedanta, the Sankhya, what the Sankhya school has extracted from Vedanta, that is accepted across. I mean, it's all the theory of creation. It's in Bhagavata, all of the Puranas. It says there are 2 stages in creation. One is called Prakrita Sarga. Second one is called Vikrita Sarga, which is loosely translated. One is pre-universe creation, and then that is creation of life. So Vikrita Sarga is creation of life. Prakrita Sarga is creation of everything until the life happens, which is creation of universe, creation of everything, all the devatas, everybody comes, and then the creation of life happens. So that's the Prakrita Sarga, Vikrita Sarga, and they are in 6 stages. I'll go through those 6 stages, and that's what this is actually mapping. But that is from Purana, like Bhagavata Purana talks about 9 stages of creation. Right? Prakrita Sarga is 6 stages. Vikrita Sarga is 3 stages. So totally 9 stages of creation. What are those 9 stages of creation? First one is, it's called as Mahat Sarga. Mahat. So Mahat Tattva, like I said, there is a one-to-one mapping between the universe and man. Right? So man's creation has not happened yet. So, but just for our understanding, I'm just mapping. This is what the Pinda and the Brahmanda. Right? The one Yatha Brahmande, Tata Pindande, Yatha Pindande, Tata Brahmande. What is in the human is in the universe. What is in the universe? In the human. So like that, we are both reflections of each other. So Mahat Tattva is the first creation of the universe, which is nothing but the body of Brahma is Mahat. And within us, what is Mahat? That is the Chit, the whole totalness of all our memories. The first waking, like if you take the waking and sleeping as Srishti and Laya, what happens when you first in the morning, when you open your eyes, what happens? There is no orientation. That is just awakening without orientation. Just the awakening. So when Brahma's Srishti happens, all the jivas who are dormant throughout the Laya period, they awaken. They awaken. Okay. So that is called as Mahat Srishti. Mahat Srishti as Brahma in the universe is the awakening of all the jivas that are to be born. It is the awakening, the period, the time of awakening from the dormant to an awakening, that is Mahat. Mahat is nothing but the Mahat Kosha is Chit, what we call Chit, the sum total of all the memories. That is called as the without orientation. This is without orientation. So that is called as the Mahat. Okay. So for which Brahma is it's the body of Brahma. So basically, the universe is the body of Brahma. He is the Abhimani of Hiranyagarbha is the Abhimani of this Virat. Virat is going to be the universe in the future. Right? At this point, it is the glowing ball. That glowing ball is going to be the universe. And that universe is his body. He is born into it. And that's his body. That means he's the Abhimani. See, whenever we say Abhimani Devata, so Agni is the Abhimani Devata of the fire. That means fire is the body of Agni. Fire, the physical fire that we see, is the body of the Agni Chetana that is within it and within all Agnis. Agni Chetana. So whenever we say word Agni, it captures Chetana and Achetana. And actually primarily Chetana first, then Achetana. Fire, fire is not physical fire. Fire is Agni Chetana and then its body. Because see, remember the Sara, the essence is always Chetana first, then the body, right? Just like the essence of who I am is my conscious entity, then my body. The same way essence of Agni is Agni, and then the fire, the physical fire or the acid or anything that that is represented by Agni, that is the physical forms of Agni. The same way, the universe in sum total, Abhimani of that is Hiranyagarbha. That means his body. Body as in not like bound by it, but he is the Abhimani of that. The relationship is not like Jiva and his body. That is, you have experience through that. He is not bound by that experience, but he is the one that energizes it for it to work. Because there is a sutra in the Brahma Sutras that says that the Achit has, or the inanimate has no activity. It is completely dormant. Any activity of the inanimate is caused by the animate. So it is called Rachana, some Om Rachana, Rachana Anupapatte Sta, Om Rachana Anupapatte Om. That means anything which moves or which does, there is a consciousness behind it. No physical phenomenon can do its things by itself. Gravity is not by itself. Gravity has to have a Chetana. I said that maps to Shesha, right? This Ananta, which we call Ananta, right? Ananta Shesha. The same way, fire. Why does fire burn, right? That is Chetana Shakti, it says. Behind the fire is a Chetana Shakti. So all Shaktis are nothing but the Chetana behind it. So that is loosely translated. That is the Abhimani concept is that.
How do you characterize Jadapadartha?
That which has no activity.
It's very difficult, right? To say that this doesn't have an activity. If you take like, a mountain, right? Volcanic mountains, there is a lot of activity happening. And so we cannot call it as a Jadapadartha.
No. You are thinking a lot deeper than what I am saying. Activity means self-directed activity. It's not there. So that which lays dormant without anything. So fire without Agni Devata will not burn. And we have seen that in the Vedanta, it says, even Agni Deva himself cannot burn a blade of grass. that in the Kenopanishad. So a fire, physical fire without Agni Devata will not burn. The properties and the activities of anything in the universe are generated not by itself through its physical properties, which we study in physics and chemistry, but by the Abhimani Devatas through which this happens, is the Vedanta. Right?
So how do you characterize then Jataragni?
How do we characterize what?
Jataragni.
That is acid. That is Agni.
Yeah, but so it's not, fire doesn't mean that a physical manifestation of flame, right? That's the, that's not the only energy
I've
behind
told
it.
that in the class, right? Fire means it's Agni. Acid is also fire. For fire means many things. The flame is one form of fire. Acid is another form of fire. There's so many fires. So fire is that which transforms. That's the ability. It can be acid. It can be, it can be flame. It can be so many things. Even, tapashakti, the activity of the mind is also, there is a Agni in our mind. So that is also that's a manasa Agni. So like digesting a concept, you have to digest a concept.
Yeah.
Right? So the digestion of a concept happens through Agni. Agni
That's
is the
why
one
it's
that
called
digests. Otherwise,
Medho Madhanam, right?
what?
Medho Madhanam. That's generating
Mathanam,
that
Mathanam.
Agni.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's called Mathana Agni. Correct. Mathana
Yeah.
means, this one, stirring.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right. So until now, that is the concept. The concept is, this Purusha now pre-creation, in the post-creation, has come within Adipurusha, as Adipurusha himself. I mean, within him as the seed for creation. The next creation that is going to start, that Purusha has come in the Adipurusha, right? So that until then we have seen last time. Sajato atyarichata paschat bhumi matho puraha. Sajataha ati arichata. That means he, born within this creation, stood as the highest among all created. So Brahma is the highest among all creation. Every creation that comes out of Brahma is going to be lower to Brahma. Sajataha atyarichata tasmat bhumin atho puraha. That means, see, puraha, the concept of cities is actually not in the last. I think I probably last time I said, the physical locus. Bhumi here are the locus, the 14 locus, and then pura is city. See, it's actually not city, because in the pura concept is not still in the Vedas. It's not a city, because in Purusha Sukta you can see both grama and pura, both are said. Right? So pura is more than, pura is the body. Like Puram Ekadasha Dwaram, the city of 11 doors, and which is the body. So Atho Puraha, that means the bodies of people, the creation, the forms of all the beings that are going to come. He is beyond all of those. That means he stands above all of his creation, which is Hiranyagarbha Brahma. This is talking about Hiranyagarbha Brahma. Within him is the seed of all creation, which is that Parapurusha, Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. Okay. So this is where we had stopped. Any questions until now? Okay. So I said Mahat Tattva Srishti. So what has been said so far, Adi Purusha, that is called as the Mahat Tattva Srishti. Mahat Tattva means in our body it is Chit. That means our memories. In the world is the physical universe, which is the body of Brahma, and then the Brahma himself. He is the Mahat Tattva Abhimani Devata. So he is the first creation, right? Now all the karmas, everything have now been activated. That is basically what the memory is. Samskaras have all been activated. So the creation has to be, for the creation to start, there has to be memory. It will not start blank slate. It will start from whatever is already existing in a dormant state that is enlivened, and that becomes the samskaras, and that will be the things that starts the next creation coming up, right? So that has started. So Mahat Tattva Srishti has happened. What comes after Mahat Tattva Srishti? That is the Ankara Tattva Srishti. That means when you wake up, you are disoriented, and then you get the context. Oh, I am Sunil. Oh, I am in this world. Oh, I have to go to work. This is what I am. Like sometimes you don't know where you are, what you do, right? I mean, we have all experienced that. You wake up suddenly and you don't know what it's day or night. The disoriented, right? The disorientation is where the ahankara is not provided you with a context. Who you are, what you have been doing. That is the context, right? That is ahankara. Ahankara is the ahankara is the individualization. Mahat is the totality. Ahankara is the individualizing principle, right? Within us, that means it is the self-awareness. It is the awareness of me as distinct from others. All of those things. That is called as Ahankara. So that Ankara SST will be like if Mahat Tattva SST is Brahma, and then in the Puranas you can see Prana Deva and all of those things are born under the Mahat Tattva SST. Then when you come to Ankara SST, the Rudra Shiva SST comes under Ankara. He's Ahankara Devata. Shiva is the deity of self-awareness, right? So then the Garuda Shesha, all of these things, all of these deities that are the Abhimanis of Ahankara. That means our Ahankara, individualization. In the world, it means a shapeless ball is starting to make shape. It is getting individualized. When Ahankara comes into picture, it is no longer, amorphous. It takes shapes. So the world is now taking shape. Ahankara Tattva Srishti means the world is taking shape, right? So that now here, Ankara Srishti is what is being taught here. What it says, where is Sajato Atyurichata? This one. See, until now, Purusha is spoken of as in the Prathama Vibhakti, that Purusha. Here, Yat Purushena Havisha Devaha Yajnamatanvata Vasanto Asyasi Rajyam Grishma Idmaha Sharat Havihi. Beautiful, because at this time the creation has happened. Right? So he said, Purushena Havisha. Havis, right? Havis is that which we offer. Pradhana Havis is what we offer into the fire. Remember, when you're doing physical yajna, you offer something in the fire. It's called Pradhana Havis. The main thing that is offered in the fire is called Pradhana Havis. Right? And this Pradhana Havis here, Purusha is the Pradhana Havis. That means this is a Manasa Yajna. Basically, this is Manasa Yajna. I mean, nothing has started yet. Even man is not created. Nothing has been created. Devatas are created, right? But here it's saying, Yat Purushena Havisha Devaha Yajna Matanvata. So all the Devatas did a Yajna, it says. All the Devatas did with what as the Pradhana Havis? With Purusha as the Pradhana Havis. That means this is called as Naramedha. Human sacrifice. It's not human sacrifice. It's not human sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice of the person who is the Abhimani of Ahankara. This is a beautiful Manasa Yajna. That what is the Devatas did? What the Devatas have done is they have sacrificed Shiva. Shiva is the Lord of all the Devatas is Shiva. All the Devatas. And he represents what? Their egos. If Indra gets ego, that he is the greatest, that comes from where? It comes from Shiva. Shiva gives that ajnana of ego, right? Because he's Ankara Abhimani Devata. So what these Devatas did is, they gave their Abhimana of Aham Karta, that Ahankara as a Purusha in this Homa. That means what? Nahankarta. I am not the doer, you are the doer. This creation did not happen through me, it happened through you. That ego, they sacrificed the ego. Yet the Purushena Havisha, they get. So if you go to Indologists, they'll say they made Naramedha, human sacrifice. But where is human? Human is not even created yet. Where is the human sacrifice? So it is the sacrifice of the Ahankara Tattva. Ahankara Tattva. The first sacrifice is the second. So the first yajna is the yajna of Ahankara. First yajna. And if you look at the parallel, if you look actually biblical, and since Sahana brought it, it reminds me of Abraham. He gets, I think it's Isaac, I think. So, in the biblical, in the Old Testament, it says Abraham was told to sacrifice Isaac, his firstborn, or something like that, right? And I think that becomes Bakrid. If you go to Islamic, that sacrifice is Bakrid. Right? They are actually sacrificing the pashu. So this is the first sacrifice, but this is a manasa yajna. This goes back to the original concept of what they sacrificed, what the devatas sacrificed at the point of creation is their ownership of the doing of creation. They sacrificed that. Yet Purushena Havisha, they offered the first among them, which is Ankara, as the Havish, as the Pradhana offering in this Yajna Matanvata. They used this as the first Havis in the Yajna, the Manasa Yajna that they are doing to Paramatma. Right?
So they were born with Ahankara, all of them. And they were all born with Ahankara, but they gave it up. What are you saying?
Yeah. They have to be, right? Everything has Ahankara.
So they gave up their Ahankara.
Sana, can you repeat the question?
No, I'm saying that they were all born with Ahankara, but they gave it up. That's
No,
what
they were all born with Ankara Tattva. That means the faculty of self-awareness. That is the one that leads to selfishness. Without self-awareness, there is no selfishness. You have to be aware of you as unique. That if without you being unique, there is no, if you identify with a group, there is no Ahankara. Right? Ahankara means individualized. So once you have the concept of individual, which is what? Who does that? Shiva does that. Shiva is the one who is the Abhimani Devata of Ahankara Tattva, right, with Garuda and Shesha. So what happened is, when Shiva, so all the Devatas have Mahat, Chitta and Ahankara. All of them have. Everybody has Ahankara Tattva in them. But what they did, the first thing they did was, they sacrificed it in the Yajna to Paramatma, saying, Na aham karta, I am not the doer. So they sacrificed this Purusha. They sacrificed this. The first sacrificial animal was Ahankara. Right? The first sacrificial animal was Ahankara. Ego has to be sacrificed. Even today, when we break the coconut, right? When we break the coconut, that is actually the first sacrifice. So the first sacrifice of the Purusha Sukta in our pujas is represented in many ways, and one of them is the breaking of the coconut, the breaking of the ego. When that which is hard breaks up, that is a breaking of the, it's like an imagery of breaking of the ego. So there is no puja.
Every time coconut is broken in various ceremonies, it signifies that?
When you break the coconut, it is the breaking of the ego.
Okay.
That which is basically because you see, every homa is the replication of this one. This is the original yajna. Every yajna that we do now in the world, the original archetype of that yajna, this is the archetypical yajna. The first yajna is this one. Right? So whatever we do in yajna, and yajna, what we do as puja is nothing but yajna. Yajna is the archetype of puja, because yaja pujane is the dhatu. Yaja means pujana. Right? So puja is nothing but the archetype of that is yajna. Yajna's archetype is nothing but this first yajna, the primordial yajna. That is this. So who did they sacrifice? They sacrificed their egos. They sacrificed their egos. Then the sacrifice ego. Right? That is the point of any puja. When you say, I am sitting and doing puja means what? You are saying, I am not the doer. That is puja. Right? It is, you are not praising Paramatma. The praise is that you are the doer, you are the great. I am just a reflection. That awareness that it's always, every day, that awareness is coming to you. That is what it is. That is what is called puja. There's no other puja than that. Good.
Yeah, it's good. The archetype part also is very interesting, because when we talk about marriage also, we actually are replicating the divine marriage of
Divine marriage, of course they say the Lakshmi Narayana, but the archetypical one is the one that is found in the Veda itself, which is the marriage of Surya. So that all the mantras in marriage, in the marriage ceremony, comes from the Veda mantras, that marriage mantras. So that is exactly, that is true. A lot of these mantras come from there. You look at the first yajna, those are the ones that we imitate now. The first marriage, that is what we imitate in our marriage. So basically what it is, what here now is a reflection of that. Nothing is original, is what we're saying. Whatever is there and whatever will be, whatever has gone by, that is what Purusha evedam sarvam, yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. Whatever is, whatever was, whatever will be, there is nothing new. It is all a reflection. Whatever is already there, what we have here is a reflection of whatever is already there.
So real sacrificing of ahankara in marriage is definitely understandable.
That is true. Yeah. Right? So, yat purushena havisha. Purusha havis means Purusha, that means this Purusha, the Purusha here is the second born, which is Ankara Tattva Abhimani. That is Shiva. Purusha, he becomes the Havis. Purushena Havisha, Devaha Yajnamatanvata. That means now all the Devas are doing this Yajna. Offering, in the first Yajna, they are offering this to Paramatma, Parama Purusha. They are offering Purusha to Parama Purusha. Right? That means, since they are talking about Devaha, the other steps is already done. So let's go to the third step of creation. What is the third step of creation? When Ankara Tattva comes, creation is kind of individualized. You get individualization. So what is the first individualization of that? That is called as the Bhuta Sarga. Bhuta Sarga. That means Bhuta Sarga means the Pancha Bhutas, the Panchatan Matras, all the Bhutas, all of those, and they are born. Right? And then next, they're all of the like Chit and this one is born. Manas Abhimani Devatas, Buddhi Abhimani Devata, I mean Manas, Buddhi, and then Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, all of those prototypes. That future in the creation is going to open up in the animate beings as provider of knowledge and doer of actions, or the instruments to act and instruments to know. They are all front-loaded in the creation. So it is not, nothing was formed now. The Indriyas were already front-loaded, right? So it is saying Indriya Srishti happened, Aindriya Srishti happened. And then all of the Deva Srishti happened. All of the Abhimani Devatas that go with, for Mano Abhimani Devata, Indra, Kama, and then all of these different, the Devatas that I said, Vag Abhimani Devata, Agni, all of these Abhimani Devatas, the Indriyas and the Bhutas, all of them were created. So that becomes what? Mahat Tattva Srishti, Mahat Tattva Srishti, Ahankara Tattva Srishti, then Bhuta Sarga, Bhuta Srishti, Aindriya Srishti, Deva Srishti. 6 stages have happened. Now, seventh one, 5 has happened, physical creation, and that is called as Tamasa Srishti. That means Asuras are created, And there abhimanyamana tamas, tamoguna, which is basically the physical world, the physical creation, physical universe happens. With that is the energy of darkness, right? Tamas. And then all of the moha, kama, all of this, and their abhimani asuras, all of them are created in that creation. Brahma is creating one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. He created all the bhutas and all of the front loading, all the ingredients, and then they assigned it to their abhimani devatas, and then asuras, and then the physical universe, and then the physical universe is ajnana, right? It's tamas. It is inanimate. So then their abhimanis become their, the darkness, the energy of darkness, which is all of the asuri, moha, mahamoha, all of those things get created in the last stage of the prakrita srishti. That means all of the ingredients are preloaded and the physical universe manifests after that. That is, tamasa srishti is actually the creation of the physical universe, right? So that means this is already has happened here. Here it says yat Purusha devaha. So all the devas are there. That means deva srishti is over, bhuta srishti is over, indriya srishti is over, deva srishti is over, and they are now offering then the physical universe is created, the world is created, the bhumi is created, the world is created, and then time is created as sapeksha. You see, there is nirapeksha kala. That means undifferentiated time. Sapeksha kala means differentiated time. That means afternoon has no meaning without sunrise. If there is no sunrise, there is no afternoon, there is no evening, there is no morning, right? It is sapeksha. That means it is referential. It is referring to something, right? That is called sapeksha kala. So sapeksha kala means once the srishti of the bhumi happens, then all of the seasons have begun. All of the seasons have begun, right? This is still in tamasa srishti. The seasons have begun in the tamasa srishti. And what the devas are doing is they're saying, Vasanto asyasid ajyam. In this yajna, where they are offering their ahankara to Paramatma as the havis, what was the ghee? Ajya. He says, Vasanta Rutu is the ghee. So that means it's not a physical yajna they're doing, right? I mean, how can a season be a ghee? That means it's a figurative way of explaining. So this is a manasa yajna, a figurative homa that they are doing. Vasantaha asya asid ajyam. Why is Vasanta Rutu, spring, ghee?
That is when the creation happens, right?
Yeah, the spring is thawing of winter, right?
Spring is
The thawing of the winter. When the winter melts, the spring comes, right?
correct. So, but
Yeah.
why is it ghee?
Oh, without a ghee, how havis will be?
No, why is spring ghee?
Because that is the creation.
And
See, if you look at it, when is in winter, how much would the cows give milk?
they give a little milk, than compared to other seasons.
Vasanta
The
Rutu.
milk capacity
Vasanta
goes down.
Rutu, Vasanta Rutu, when all the grass is grown up, the cows
Yes,
are feeding.
you have the herbs and medicinal plants, everything that comes
Right,
to
right.
life in the spring.
Everything comes to life.
Yeah.
There is food is available in plenty. The cows give
Yeah.
milk, and the milk becomes ghee. So that Vasanta Rutu is the Rutu of plentifulness, bountifulness. When everything
At the
is
root
coming
of
back
ghee.
to life. What is that?
The root of ghee. Without plants, cows cannot give milk. Without milk, there is no. That's the
That's the ghee.
process, right? Yeah.
Correct. So, right, Vasanta Rutu happens, and Vasanta Rutu was the ghee, which means that is the template through which in the future you will see plentiful food coming up in the Vasanta Rutu. So this is happening before the creation. So that is what I'm saying. Actual creation is nothing but a reflection of this yajna. So they're saying this devatas used Vasanta Rutu as ghee. So that means their ego went into the fire. And then the ghee that they added into that fire is what? Vasanta Rutu, it says. The Vasanta Rutu's plentifulness and the ghee that is available in Vasanta Rutu, that formed the ghee of this homa. Vasanto asyasi dajyam grishma idmaha. The firewood is what? Grishma Rutu.
Yeah,
Fire,
obviously.
everything is dry. The dry wood, that is this. It says Grishma Rutu became the dry wood of this homa. The wood from which the fire is generated. The wood is the summer. Right? And Sharad Havihi. The Havis, not the Pradhana Havis, but the other offering. Other than the Purusha is already an offering now. But then the other things that are offered into that, it says it's Sharad Rutu. Why Sharad Rutu?
Because the medicinal plants will be in its fullest bloom.
What is the harvest season?
Yeah, that's September, October, right? So that's
Correct.
where the moon is its fullest. So the medicinal plants requires the
I think, can you
moonlight.
help me?
What is that? Hey Teja.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
she-
that. Sorry.
Yeah. So,
So
harvest season is Sharad Rutu.
Yeah.
Right. So Sharad Rutu. So that means in the harvest season, Havis is available, and that Havis is offered in this homa. So that means that in the template it says, in the Vasanta Rutu, the milk will be in plenty. There's ghee that will be in plenty in the Vasanta Rutu. Grishma Rutu is dry, the wood, and then Sharad Rutu, the fall, is the harvest season and the ingredients that's needed for the yajna. So in this Manasa yajna, where Purusha is the Pradhana Havis, Vasanta Rutu is the ghee, the summer season, Grishma Rutu is that which this Ritu is the wood, firewood, and then the Sharad Rutu is the harvest season is the other apradhana offering into this homa. That is what the yajna they did.
What happened to the other seasons?
You will see. How many seasons are there?
6.
6.
No, five seasons.
Okay.
We call it Arkalalu. I can
Six.
tell you that.
No. I know. Not that I'm saying. There's 5 seasons. 6 names, but 5 seasons. Winter is 1. There's no 2 winters.
Oh,
But
so that means Shishira and the one
Hemanta Rutu and Shishir Rutu are just one. It's
you
winter.
combined it. Okay.
Combined, yeah. So that's why in the Vedas, you'll see Panchapadam Purushaha, like he has 5 legs. His son walks with 5 legs, it says. And then it's 5 seasons. Okay, but there's 6 seasons. No. There's 5 actual seasons are 5. There is the
Somebody added the 6th one later, I think.
They just differentiated as pre-winter and like the main winter, right?
Yeah.
The Hemanta Rutu is pre,
Yeah.
and then the main winter is Shishira.
Correct.
Right? So that is, but it's just 1. Winter is 1. Spring is 1. Summer is 1. Rain is 1. Fall is 1, and winter is 1. So 5. There are 5 seasons. 6 names of the 5 seasons. That is how you resolve. In all of the Vedas, it only talks about 5. You never see 6 seasons in the Vedas.
So is Hemanta is not mentioned at all?
No. The number of seasons.
No, but
Number of seasons.
Hemanta season is mentioned
In where?
in Rig Veda.
I don't know if Shishira season names I don't think is mentioned.
Okay.
So Hemanta Shishira, I don't know if this they are mentioned there. But again, whenever in all of the Veda mantras where it says, for like many of the Surya mantras say, he walks on 5 feet. It's like, with 5 feet. And those 5 are the seasons, the 5 seasons. Even though there are 6 names for 5 seasons, the actual seasons are 5 seasons. So you should understand the difference, why they call 5, why they call 6.
Maybe Aru is Kala.
I missed that one. What was that?
No, it is called, in Telugu it's Aru Galalu, meaning it's 6 times. So it's
Yeah,
maybe time perspective of within the seasons than the seasons itself.
So Shed Rutu, and even in Sanskrit, Shed Rutu they say. Shed Rutu means 6 seasons. Rutu is Shed. 2 months each, 6 seasons is 12 months. But then again, the actual thing is 5, just the 5. So let's do. So this is what it is, right? This is the Manasa Yajna. In the Manasa Yajna, they've offered Purusha, which is Ankara, as the Havis, Pradhana Havis, of which the Ghee is Vasanta Rutu, the firewood is the Grishma Rutu, the summer season, and Sharad Rutu, where the harvest happens, is the other Apradhana Havis. That is what they have offered, that, saying, I am Nahankarta, and to the Paramatma. So let's look at the Samhita Mantra. Yes.
So another Bhashya, I think someone is asking a question. I'll go later.
What is the question? I don't think anybody else.
Okay, in another Bhashya, it is said that the Purusha himself offered into the yajna because there is no other offering available. I know Ahankara is one meaning you're saying that, but to show that Purusha never had Ahankara, Purusha himself has offered into the yajna.
That is Shiva.
That's something I read.
The Purusha that is offered is the Shiva himself.
Okay.
Ankara Abhimani himself is offered himself as the Havis. And Devatas did puja.
Because they don't know what to offer into it as a sacrifice.
No, remember, there is no creation yet. There is no physical offering of any kind. This is all Manasa Yajna.
But Purusha already existed, right?
That Purusha here is Brahma, and then Brahma, after Brahma, other Purusha is, the Ankara Tattva Abhimani Devatas, Shiva, Garuda, and all of those.
Okay.
Devatas are there because Devas are the ones that are offering, but living beings are not there yet.
That is very clear from it. But the only thing is, in your explanation, you said this, Devatas offered the Ahankara into the yajna versus another Bhasha I read is the Purusha himself offered because he wanted the procreation, right? No, this yajna is the root.
Yes, this is the creation
that follows later.
Correct,
yeah.
correct. No, he himself, even this one doesn't say he himself. Purushena Havisha. By Purusha Havis, the Devas offered. This doesn't say Purusha himself offered himself. It says the Devas offered the Purusha. Right? If you look at this, what it says.
Devas offered the Purusha, but Purusha himself became an instrument to part of the offering. That's where Devas could offer him. Yeah.
Correct. That's true. Ahankara and Ahankara Tattva Abhimani Devata himself becomes the Purusha, the Pashu.
Yeah.
Purusham Pashu, it says.
Yeah, I get cleared.
Yeah. So let us look at the hymn itself, the rik here. How do you chant this? And then we'll go to the next one. See, Yat Purushena Havisha Adheva Yajnamatan Vata Vasanto Asya Sidhajyam Grishma Idma Sharadhavihi. Right? So that is the chanting. Right? So this is Anudatta. Vasanto Asya Sidhajyam Grishma Idma Sharadhavihi. So that all of these are Anudattas here. So that is.
It's a very dumb question here. Somebody that is interested in learning Purusha Sukta, and if they don't, it is very difficult to get the intonation unless you practice 100 times. Listen and practice, right? Ordinary people, that didn't go to the Vedic and the Sanskrit learning. It's very difficult. Is there any negativity of not able to do the intonation correctly when somebody recites Purusha Sukta?
Yes, negativity in the sense that, and I was telling this to I think some of the friends we met. there is a story in the Bhagavata that is actually points to that. Veda mantra has to be done with intonation, but you can also do padapata. It doesn't need intonation. Right? If you say yat purushena havisha deva yajnam atanvata vasantah asya asid ajyam grishma idmah sharat havihi, no problem.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, padapata you can do. When you are doing samhita pata, there is a story of Indra. See, Indra, when he disrespects Brihaspati, see, if you look at Mahabharata, right? The Mahabharata is in the image of the Deva Asuras. It is always Asuras are more in number and stronger, always. Devas are less in number and not powerful. That is how it is. Asuras are always more powerful. And more in number. Devas are less in number and less powerful. How do Devas win? Mantra bala. Devas always win through mantra bala. And therefore they need their Purohita, which is Brihaspati. So Brihaspati is the one that gets them victory. So Devas, the bala of the Devas is Mantra Shakti. Asuras don't have Mantra Shakti. They have Maya Shakti. Devas have Mantra Shakti. So what happens is when Indra disrespects, he doesn't stand up or he doesn't honor when Brihaspati comes in. So Brihaspati feels very sad that his Shishya, and if you look at this imagery is what? Drona is Brihaspati, Avatara. Brihaspati, Drona is nothing but Brihaspati's Avatara in Mahabharata. Arjuna is Indra Avatara. That same thing is carried. So Brihaspati leaves the Devas and goes away. And then Indra realizes what a big mistake he has done. And then he goes to find him, but they're not unable to find Brihaspati. So now Devas can easily, this one can easily defeat the Devatas. Devatas are easily defeated by the Asuras because Devas don't have Mantra Bala. So what happens now? Indra needs that protection of Mantra Bala. So he goes to Vishwakarma, the divine architect, one of the Devatas, and says his son, his name is Vishwarupa. So Vishwarupa he's a Mahapurohita, Mahajnani. He says, I want him to officiate the yajnas, which give us the strength. I want them him to officiate it because Brihaspati is no longer there. So Vishwarupa agrees, but that Vishwakarma's wife is from Asura side. Vishwakarma is Deva, his wife is Asura. Right? So Vishwarupa has sympathies for Asuras because they're mother's side. Right? So he has this thing. So whenever Indra does the Homa, one Havis into the Homa, he gives for the Asuras. Let them also be protected. Let Indra be protected in this thing, and then let also the Asuras be protected because he has that sympathy for the mother's side, right? And then Indra finds out that Vishwarupa has been doing this double thing, where he's not only doing officiating for me, and one of the Havis is also offering for the protection of the Asuras. So Indra kills Vishwarupa for doing this. And now what's that?
He keeps on accumulating a pataka.
No. This is see, Indra. This is not like physical thing. Indra, even the Vedas themselves say, Indra is unscathed by anything. So Indra is very pure. It is a template story. Like I said, these are archetypical stories. Whatever the Purana says, it is not somebody killing somebody. It is an archetype of what happens in nature, right? When the this is like the Indra killing Vritra, which will come in the future, that is the rain, the phenomenon of rain. So that is, that the Vajra that goes through the dark cloud. You cannot say, oh, he's killing. It's not that human kind of killing. It is a physical phenomenon. So it is nothing related to this. That's why they say, do not take your virtues from these stories, because they are not about human stories. You should take from itihasas, not from Puranas. Devata is not your ideal for how you have to live the life. They say, don't do that, because these are devatas. Because basically what it's explaining, physical phenomenon, what's going on, and that you cannot say that is the intent of man and the physical phenomenon are the same. It's not like that, right? So these are two different things. That is why itihasa has come. Itihasa is the one that models, like especially Ramayana. Rama has lived like a man, even though he is not. He lived like a man. Otherwise, we cannot follow him, right? If everything was perfect about him, there's no following. Because he went through life like a man, we find somebody who is similar to us and we can follow that. So that is one worth following, not the Devatas. Not because they're bad. Devatas are good. Devatas are always good. Indra is always good. But this is a description of an archetype of physical phenomenon, not a human interaction. Right? So, like I said, Vishwarupa is killed, and then Vishwakarma becomes very enraged. And then he does the Homa. He says, I want somebody as a son who will kill Indra. Indra's killer should be my son. So they'll do a big Homa Yajna, so that they can have the killer of Indra. During that, what happens when they when they're doing the mantras, I think Indra Shatru, no, not Indra Shatru, I think Indra Gna. Some word is used, Indra's killer. See, I don't know if it is Indra Gna or Indra something else, but let's take it as Indra Gna. If you stress Indra Gna, means Indra's killer. Indra Gna, when you stress on Gna, Indra killed. That means he who is killed by Indra is Indra Gna, stressed on Gna. He who Indra's killer, Indra Gna, Indra's killer and Indra killed. They stress the wrong word. So what comes out is the one who will be killed by Indra instead of Indra's killer, because they stressed it wrong. The meaning changed, right? That is Vritrasura. That is Vritra, Indra Vritra, right? And then Indra kills Vritra. And then there's so many Veda mantras that the water was hidden, and then Vritra hid the waters, and then through the Vajrayuda, Indra killed Vritra, and then the rain happened in the world. So it's all physical phenomenon that's being described. But that Vritra became Indra killed, the one who will be killed by Indra instead of him being Indra killer. That is the example of stressing the wrong syllable, stressing the wrong word or part of word changes the meaning entirely. Right? So when you are doing Samhita Pata, you have to be very careful. You can do Padapata. You can do all Padapata. You can do all for any verse. In Rigveda, Yajurveda, you can do anything. But keep it to Padapata. It will be good. As powerful as there are many patas. Instead of Samhita Pata, you can do Padapata.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to this. Okay, this is where I was saying. So after this, in the Yajurveda, this mantra comes. Saptasyasan paridayaha, trisapta samita kritaha, devaha yadyajnam tanvana abadnan purusham pashum. So in the Rigveda, this has come in the third portion. But this is actually, it comes here. Vasanto asyasi davajyam, grishma idma sharadhavihi, saptasyasan paridayaha. So if you look at the Yajurveda, the Purusha Sukta, that mantra comes after this, which is Saptasyan. So we'll take it that way because that is the order in which it is going. So we'll take this mantra first. 15th mantra, we'll take that and then we'll go back again, right? So here it says, Saptasyasan paridayaha trisapta samidha kritaha. Paridhi. Paridhi means, moat. You know what a moat is, right? A moat is, like around a fort, you build like a water thing around it. It's a moat, so that it is difficult to cross. Right? In business, in startups, they say, what is your moat? That means how difficult or easy is for others to replicate you. Right? So that what is your moat means how easy or difficult it is to somebody wants to replicate what you have you want to do. If it's very easy, that means you have no moat. There's no differentiation. So that is what paridhi is. Paridhi is that water around the fort that keeps people away. It's not easily accessible. That which makes it difficult to access, difficult to do. That is called paridhi. So what happens in the yajnas? What they do, they put this, the grass, the kusha, right? The grass on the three sides of the yajna to keep away the asuras. So it says that in a typical yajna vedi, there is actually two, Avaniya and this one, two yajnas, kundalas are made, and then the grass is on the three sides. On the north side, they put a grass. You would have seen in the yajna, they'll put grass on one side, on the other side, right? So they'll put on uttara side, north side. They'll put on west side. They'll put on east, south side. They'll not put on east side. So in the two Vedicas, they put it on three sides. And they say east does not need this paridhi because Surya is the paridhi. Surya's rays kills the asuras. Asuras will not come from the east. They'll come from the north, south, or west. So you need paridhi from these three. East is taken care of by Surya Deva. So that means for the two kundas, there is three sides each. So that's 6, and Surya is the 7. So 7 paridhis. Saptasyasan paridayaha. That means there are 7 paridhis around this. Right? What are the paridhis? What here? This is Manasa Yajna. So they've used 7 in this Manasa Yajna. So there are various, there are various interpretations for this. Sapta Chandas is there, but again, Sapta Chandas is in the Namatmaka Prapancha Srishti. So I don't think that is Chandas. The other one is, Sapta Dhatu. Right? Purusha is Sapta Dhatu. The 7 dhatus that make Purusha, those are the 7 paridhis that prevents the asuras coming in. So they all the Devata Abhimani that are the Abhimani Devatas of the Sapta Dhatus, they were the Sapta Paridhis that protected the Homa, that protected the Yajnas. Saptasyasan Paridhayaha, that is the 7 Paridhis. Trisapta Samidha Kritaha. Samit, 21 Samidha Kritaha. Right? There were 21 firewoods that was used. Right? You use 21 firewoods. Trisapta means 3 times 7. What are those 3 times 7?
Yeah.
Panchabhuta, Panchatanmatra, Panchajnanendriya, Panchakarmendriya, 1 Antakarana.
21.
That means Manas, Buddhi, Ankara, Chitta together, that one, the Antakarana, that is 1. So 21 paridhis, 21 samit has been used. Okay. Trisapta samidha kritaha. Devaha yadyajnam tanvana abadnan purusham pashum. See, this is the Purusha Pashu. Purusha himself became a Pashu. Abadnan means they tied that Purusha Pashum and offered, and with it, the paridhis, the Devaha yadyajnam tanvana, the yajna that the Devas did, they had tied the Purusha Pashu. Purusha was the Pashu. See, what is Purusha Pashu? Ankara is the Pashu. The Pashu in us is Ankara. And the Pashu here is Pashupati. Shiva is also Pashu. Purusha Pashu is also Shiva. Ankara Abhimani Devata. So he offered himself as the Pradhana of all the Devatas. And the Devatas through him offered all of the Ankara. With it, they had the 7 Paridhis and the 21 summits. With which were the Panchabhutas, Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Tanmatras, and 1 Antakarana. All of them became the summits. Right? So, did you understand this part?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay. So let's look at the Samhita part of this. Saptasya asan paridaya trisapta samida krita deva yajñam tan bhana abadhan purusham bhashum. That is Purusham Pashum. Abadnan Purusham Pashum. That Purusha Pashu, they offered it in this yajna, which is their Ankara. Okay. So now we'll go back to this. So this is the Srishti Yajna is going on. Srishti Manasa Yajna is going on. They offered that Ankara, right? And the seasons and all of those things have been offered. And then what did they do with the Purusha Pashu? Tam Yajnam Barhishi Praukshan Purusham Jatam Agrataha Tena Devaha Ayajanta Sadhya Rishayaschaye. You know, Barhishi, you know, Baris is that grass, the kusha grass. You know, like they'll say, sprinkle this water to purify. So what the Devas did was they sprinkled the water on the Purusha Pashu, on that Purusha Pashu. Tam Yajnam Barhishi Praukshan Purusham Jatam Agrataha Agrata Purusham, firstborn. They offered the firstborn. That is Ankara. The Mahatattva, you know, Adhipurusha is there. The firstborn from Adhipurusha is Ankara. Ankara Tattva Bhivani. So he's the first. Jatam Agrataha, firstborn they offered. Because he's the firstborn is the leader of everything that comes later on. So the Ankara Tattva, they offered that. And what they sprinkled this water. They said they sprinkled the water. And then they offered. Who did that? Tena Devaha Ayajanta. With that Pashu, all the Devatas, they offered as worship to Paramatma. Who else? Sadhyaha Rushayaschaye. Rishis offered it. Again, these are Deva Rishis. Manushas are not created yet. Deva Rishis. Who are Sadhyas? Sadhyas means the future deities who comes to that their post. Sadhyas, you know, in the Purana, Sadhyas are called Karma Devatas. That means who are doing the sadhana to achieve the post of the Devatas in the next cycle. They are called Sadhyas. Sadhyas means future deities are called Sadhyas. Sadhyas and Rishis. And also, Sadhyas are Karma Devatas. Rishis are Jnana Devatas. So that is also another thing. Jnana Devatas and Karma Devatas offered Jnana and Karma, you know, in this Homa. So everything needs that Ahankara to go away. So all of these Devatas, Devatas of knowledge, Devatas of Karma, all of them offered the firstborn, which is Ahankara, into this Yajna. Right? Tam Yajnam Barhishi Praukshan Purusham Jatam Agrataha. Purusham Jatam Agrataha. The one born first, that means after Adhipurusha, the first born, which is the Ahankara Tattva, Abhimani Devata, he was sprinkled with this water. Again, there is no water. This is Manasa Yajna. Right? And then all the Devas offered him, this firstborn, to Paramatma as a symbolic way of saying, Na Ahankarta, there is no Ahankara. We are not doing anything. You are the one who has entered us and doing everything. Right? So that is what they're doing. It's not just the devatas who are in the position then, but also the future devatas. They also participated in this offering. Okay. So next one. Tasmat yajnat sarvahutaha samrutam purushadajyam. Now the three creations of life is happening. Pashunstams chakre vayavyan aranyan gramyaschaye, it says. So I said creation is 9 stages, right? 6 we have done. Mahat Tattva Srishti, Ankara Tattva Srishti, Bhuta Srishti, Aindriya Srishti, Deva Srishti, Tamas Srishti, right? So Tamas is the physical universe is form, right? And then all of the seasons and all of those things are coming. Then what are that's Prakrita Sarga, Vikrita Sarga. What are the 3 Vikrita Sargas? What is the first creation of life? This is the creation of life. This is explaining creation of life. What is the first creation of life? It's called as Utsrota Sarga. Creation of those with alimentary canal. Srotas means pipe, which is alimentary canal that goes from bottom to top. Which one is that? Bottom to top. That which feeds in the bottom and excretes in the top. What is that?
Plant.
The plant kingdom. So first one is the creation of the plant kingdom. Utsrota Sarga or Urda Srota Sarga is the creation of the plant kingdom. Then Tiryak Srota Sarga. See, Tiryak means side to side. Alimentary canal going from one side to another side. What is that? Animal kingdom. Right? The animal kingdom. And then Arvak Srota Sarga. That means from top to bottom. Alimentary canal goes from top to bottom. Which is that one? Creation of man. So the final creation is creation of man. That is the final section of this. So what it is explaining now is the 2 creations of life. One is the creation of the plant kingdom and next one is the animal kingdom. Plant kingdom is assumed. Plant kingdom is already assumed, right? Vasanta Rutu and all of those things assumes that there is plant kingdom, right? And then animal kingdom is what we have actually. Tiryak Srota Sarga. The 8th Sarga, the creation of animals. That is what it is saying. It's saying, what it is saying is what happened. They've offered everything. They've offered their Ankara in this. They've offered seasons in it. They offered all the side things in it. What comes out? It says, Tam Yajnam. No, Jatamagrata, Tena Deva Ajanta Sadhyashish. Tasmat Yajnat Sarvahutaha. This Yajna is Sarvahuta. Whatever is there has been offered in this yajna. All the ingredients needed for creation of life has already been added. Sarva Utaha has been offered in this. Right? Tasmat yajnat sarva utaha samrutam purushadajyam. From it came purushadajyam. What is purushadajyam? Purushad means curd, yogurt. Ajya means ghee. Where is ghee and cow? No, animals themselves and cow is also not there. Purushadajyam, where does it come from? What is this? From this yajna, everything has been offered, right? Seasons have been offered. All of the devatas offered their ahankara. The creation has to happen for life, creation of life. Purushadajyam means what? Purushadajyam, in the commentary, beautiful. It is the power of procreation, right? This is, this is the retas, right? The seed, the sperm. That is the one, the reproductive power, the power of reproduction. That is called Purushadajyam, right? It is, they call it curd and ghee. That means it's the power of procreation that comes from it. That is the seed from which all of the reproduction in this world will happen, from that seed. That's the power of reproduction, the power of replication. That power of replication that came out of the yajna, that supercharged the future coming of life.
That came out means that came like a phala of the yajna, is it?
Yes, that came out of the phala. The reproductive strength, the power of reproduction came out as, see, in a what they do in a homa, when you've done with the homa, they mix curd and ghee and take that as prasada. So this is comparing to that. What the way we do yajna, that's what this is the prototype of that. It says in our yajna, after the yajna havis, you take curd and ghee mixed and drink, which is that is the power of mojo. That is the power. Is the curd mixed with ghee. Right? So that's the power. That power here they're saying that that's the power of reproduction. The power of reproductive power, the seed that has come out. They're going to use that as to replicate and multiply the living beings that are going to come.
Does it have to be only living beings? Can it be some quality or something else more abstract?
It's talking about creation of living beings.
Okay.
Right? So it is talking about that. So Purushadajyam means that is what? The procreative power, that is the final product that emerges out. It's the power of reproduction and replication that comes out of this yajna. And that is what is going to be used to create multiplicity of living things. Life multiplies. There's no stopping. Right? That is what it is. Tam tena devaya tasmad yajnat sarvahutah samhrutam Purushadajyam Pashumstams chakre vayavyan aranyan gramyaschaye. From all of these reproductive things that happened, the more familiar ones, all of the beings, animals were created. Pashumstams chakre, all the pashus were created, all the animals were created. What kinds of animals? Vayavyan, those that fly in Vayu. Aranyan. So there are two ways of splitting. Aranyan or Naranyan. So Aranyan means wild animals that live in Aranya, in the forest. Gramya means the tame, domesticated animals, right? The wild animals and the domesticated animals. If you take it as Naranya means Nara means water. Naranya means those who are in water, those who are in air, those who are in water, those who are on land. Gramya means those who are on land. Right? So that is more appropriate than saying Aranyan, Gramya, wild and domesticated, because man has not come yet. So there is no domestication yet. Right? So it is still it says 3 kinds of animals were born: those that fly, those that swim in water, and those that go on land. So that is more appropriate, and I think that is the way to split this. Pashumstams chakre vayavyan naranyan gramyaschae. All of those. That means those who are flying, those who are those who are in the water, swim in the water, and those who go on land. Right? So all of these.
This is evolution then.
Yeah, it is. The Sankhya means evolution. We support evolution, but it's a different kind, not Darwinian in evolution. See, remember, Gita has a beautiful in the 15th chapter. See, Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. It says, Asatyam te jagad asatyam apratishtam te jagadahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutim kimanyat kama haitukam. So what is this asura swabhava, right? How do asuras behave? How do they think, right? It says asatyam jagate. Asuras say the world is an illusion. Now those kinds of concept is asuric. Asatyam. Apratishtam. The world has no order. There is no law. There is no dharma, right? That kind of thinking is also asuric. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadahur anishwaram. There is no Ishvara. There's no God, atheistic, right? Those kind of things. These are different. And then what else? Aparaspara sambhutim. There is no causal chain. there is no cause effect, and that effect is another cause. Aparaspara sambhuti, in a beautiful word, aparaspara sambhuti. Paraspara sambhuti means what? Paraspara means one creating another, another creating another. It's a chain of causes, right? Like if you look at the human, the chain, like one creates the other, other creates. That's the paraspara sambhuti. What they say is aparaspara sambhuti. That means those who deny causal chain, they are also asuric. There is a causal chain in creation. Those who deny causal chain, those are also, that springs out of asuric nature. Kimanyat kama hetukam. That means what? This world is for kama, for pleasure. They say the only goal of the world is for pleasure, consumption, which is again today's world, right? What is world? World is for consumption. Kimanyat kama hetuka. Kama hetu. It's only the reason for the world is for us to consume. That is consumerism. That is what it is, right? Kimanyat kama hetukam. That is also that it says all of these kinds of thought and thinking come out of from asuri swabhava. One of that is aparaspara sambhuti. Denying the causal chain is an asuric way of thinking, not daivik, not the right thinking, right? So what is causal chain? This is the causal chain. One thing creating another thing, creating another thing, that, each one.
So we got a nice thing. We can say that Krishna called the people who deny evolution as asuras.
Correct. He did. Kimanyat, it says na aparaspara sambhutim kimanyat kama hetukam. Those who deny causal chains or chain of causes, they are asuric. Right? So all of those. So here, yeah, all of these are like one by one. But it's not, again, it's not evolution, Darwinian evolution. It's an Sankhya evolution. Sankhya evolution is different from Darwinian evolution, but it is a causal chain. One thing caused another thing, like that.
But that is again, like, see, in Hinduism, we believe in, like combining all these things, right? We believe in God, and then, then there is evolution. But these guys, like they say, like there is no evolution, and then the God dropped everything, kind of a thing, right? So that is just the purity.
That is asuri. It's like, that he created like this, tathastu, and then everything, nothing. Yeah. No. It's a natural progression of creation. Yeah. Like you can see the Rigveda, him saying that one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Right? So that is what the whole creation hymn in the image of a yajna is saying, one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, things are happening. See, until the life, there is no prashadajyam, there is no reproductive, like replication power. Devatas, they don't need this replicating power. Life comes, life gets the replicating power, right? The reproductive power to multiply.
So, Sunil,
yeah.
And just to add to the discussion, in Lalita Sahasranama, it says Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavali. The creation and the destruction happens in the blink of eye, right?
Yeah. So the blink of an eye of Paramatma is the duration of one creation. That means 100 years of Brahma is one creation, one blink of his eyes. But for him, it is
you
Nitya.
Still think that we are within the evolutionary theory, even it says blink of eye, but you think that because on the time scale we are still within the evolution theory, our approach to the
no. Our time,
universe creation.
Our time is different from the Devata time, is different from Brahma time, is different from Paramatma time.
No, I get that. So what you're telling me is that even though it says, like we just had a discussion, right? Like tadastu, it happened, right? So, but here, if you take the literal meaning, in the blink of Devata's eye, the creation happens and the destruction happens, right? So, but you were saying that the time scale is much big for them, so it still fits into the evolution theory, not just the tadastu theory of the
correct.
Abraham
but I'm talking about
religion.
the time scale of our time scale. So the blink of an eye is for Paramatma, but that we are not talking about Paramatma's time. We are talking about our time. In our time scale, this is all Paraspara Sambhuti. This is one thing creating after
Yeah.
another thing, after another thing, and all that.
So again, the Purusha Sukta, or even going back to the Lalita Sahasranama, where also the description is she is of 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet. Again, it is the same definition of Devi and Devata, right?
That's the Prakriti. That is Prakriti.
What is that required for us to have two recitations for the Prakriti and Purusha? The same recitation, right? If you go by the meaning of it, everything that has been mentioned there and here, it's describing the same words and using
No,
same
this
Sanskrit.
is Shruti. Lalita Sahasranama is not Shruti. It is Smriti.
Correct.
So this is Pradhana. Rigveda Purusha Sukta is first. Everything comes later. Even Vishnu Sahasranama is Smriti. It's not Shruti.
My question is why we have to take the same definition for the Prakriti also?
Because Prakriti is also
you know,
innumerable. Prakriti is also like that. She is everywhere. She is in everything. Prakriti is also that. But not independently. She is dependently like that. Purusha is independently like that.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah. Okay. So, Tasmad Yajna Sarvota Samrutam Prashadajyam Pashum Stams Chakre Vayavyan Aranyam Gramyascha Ye. Right? But there is a secret. I mean, again, these are all many levels of meanings. Vayavyan means in the future, those who live by Vayu. That means all the if you take it as man, we live by Vayu, right? The breathing. These Vayavyan are Gramya and Aranya. That means Gramyas are Grihasthas. That means those who live in Grama, Sanya, the Brahmacharya and Grihastha. Aranya are, those who are retired or those who are sannyasis. These two kinds also. So it's you can kind of look at in different ways of this. But the main thing is that when the creation happens, the creation, that procreation, the power of procreation came, and through that they created the those that fly in air, Vayavyan. Naranyan means those that swim in water and those who go on land. Okay. Pashum stams chakre Vayavyan Aranyam Gramyaschaye. Tasmad Yajnat Sarvahutaha. Again. Rachassamani Jagnire. Chandamsi Jagnire. Tasmad Yajustasmad Ajayata. Now, that is Rupatmaka Prapancha. I said there are two kinds of creation. Rupatmaka Prapancha is the creation of forms. Namatmaka Prapancha is creation of knowledge, creation of names, knowledge. So now it is talking about simultaneously creation of knowledge is happening. What is that? Tasmad Yajnat. From that Yajna, what happened? Sarvahutaha. That Yajna gave the power of procreation for the forms. What did it give for knowledge? It says, Richassamani Jagnire. Rigveda, Samaveda. See, Rig and Sama are the same. The mantras are the same. One is recited, chanted, the other one is sung. So usually in the Vedanta, they are combined. Rik Sama means they are combined. One is chanted, the other one is sung. So Rik and Sama mantras came up. Rik Sama, Richassamani Jagnire. Chandamsi Jagnire Tasmad. And then what happened? Chandas came. That means the meter, the Sapta Chandas, the main Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, and Brihati, Trishtup, and then Jagati, and what was the other one? Then seven of them. So 7 Chandas, Saptaswasa, Saptaswara, Saptaswasa, the 7 sisters. Right? So all of these came. Chandamsi, Chandas, the arrangement of the poetry and all of those things, they all came up. The knowledge of that. That Chandamsi also means what? Chandaha. That means the shed. The 6, the grammar, etymology, nirukta, all of the, Nirukta, Jyotishya, and all of these Chandas, they all came together. Right? Chandamsi Jagnire Tasmat, Yajus Tasmat Jayata. Yajur Veda, that means the prose part of the Shruti came through which the homas are done, yajnas are done. So this is the srishti of the world of knowledge, the world of names and world of knowledge also came from that yajna. The world of form came, the power, that is the power of procreation came, and the power of procreation in forms is not Veda in the names. So in the Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha, the power is in the Vedas. Shruti is that Veda, the power. The Prushadajya of the Rupatmaka, Namatmaka Prapancha is Shrutis, the knowledge that will make things happen. So that came from this yajna. Okay. So Tasmat Yajnat Sarvahutaha Ruchas Samani Jagnire Chandamsi Jagnire Tasmat Yajus Tasmat Ajayata. See, it's using Tasmat so many times. It is all from that Purusha, it is saying. They're offered. See, Tasmat means from that Purusha. That Purusha that we said in the beginning, from that Purusha, Rigveda came. From that Purusha, Yajurveda came. From that Purusha, Samaveda came. So there's no like it's using Tasmat means from him. Everything is coming from him. Nothing else, nothing is independent. Right? So that's why it's using so many Tasmat like this. Tasmat Yajnat Sarvahutaha. Tasmat Yajnat Sarvahutaha. Ruchas Samani Jagnire. It came up. Chandamsi Jagnire Tasmat Yajus Tasmat Ajayata. Okay. Next. These are the Yajna Pashus. These are called Pancha Pashus. That means 5 Pashus that are, if you look at the Samaveda, it says, there are 5 forms of Paramatma in these 5 Pashus. What are those 5 Pashus? Let's see. Tasmad Ashvaha Ajayanta. Ashvaha Ajayanta. Horses came up. Yekecho Bhayadataha. So here, there is 2 versions. Yekecho, Ekecha, Ubhaya Dataha. Which means those that have 2 sets of teeth, the upper and the lower teeth, right? It really doesn't make sense in that way. The other one is Eka means 1, Cha, Ubha, 2, 1 set and 2 sets of teeth. The creation happened with 1 set of teeth, 2 sets of teeth. And then, that is the cow, the horse. Gavaha hajagnire. Cows, cattle came up. Tasmat jataha ajaha. Goats and avayaha. That means the sheep. And which is the 5th one? So we have horse, we have cow, we have goat, we have sheep. Which is the 5th animal?
Lion?
Man.
Man. Okay.
Man, which is going to be created next. Man is not created yet. It's created next. So all these are, see, all of these are Yajna Pashus. That means, horse is a Yajna Pashu. Cow, of course, you need all the products of the cow for Yajna Pashu. Sheep is a Yajna Pashu. Goat is a Yajna Pashu. All of these are Yajna Pashus.
That's why they sometimes they give the bali to the gods with these
No, they
animals.
don't do bali of cow and all that. They do horse.
No. They do horse, sheep, goat, all that they do.
Yeah, they are a Yajna Pashu.
I think
Basically,
cow can be done if it is not giving milk.
It is what?
Non-milk cows. Non-milk cows.
No, bull, they do, not cow, they do bull. Cow here is also bull and cow, right?
In Bahubali movie, they did the bull, the bali. Actually.
See, the concept is this. It's an offering. What you eat is what you offer.
Oh, okay.
right? So that means there are nisheda. That means, can you eat onion? Can you give Paramatma, offer Paramatma onion? No, because it's nishiddha. What is not nishiddha that you consume, you first offer to Paramatma and then you partake yourself, which means meat also. So animal sacrifice is also there because that is food.
So beef eating was there. That is the conclusion can come.
Oh yeah,
Bull.
yeah.
Bull is beef only, no?
That's
Yes,
what
yes,
I'm saying.
beef
Bull.
eating was there, Sahana, eons ago, but it later the health concerns and there was like a rampant cancer also. And there was a lot of study on this one, how this has, and also the Buddhism also contributed to that. So we weaned away from eating meat. So yeah, you were right.
I don't know if we have weaned away. I mean, I think 80% of India is non-vegetarian, right? Vegetarian is probably less, 20%.
No. I have contested that. That is
Now,
all
what is
rubbish.
how much is vegetarian?
It is actually 50% or so, because
Really?
they
That
are
much?
calling non-vegetarian anybody who eats meat even once in his life. That person is non-vegetarian. It should not be that way. So the data
No,
they are
I'm saying
collecting,
regularly eating meat.
yeah, not more than 50%.
Not more than
50%.
50%. Huh? Oh,
Yes.
I don't know. I thought it was
No. That's all
vegetarianism
because
is less and
they have added
non-vegetarian.
up all those numbers and made it 80-90%. By adding anybody who eats, who has eaten fish meat once in his life is all counted in that census where they said that 80% of India is eating meat. They counted all those people.
Okay.
I think
So
I
again,
agree with Sunil's count.
animal sacrifice is there in if you look at Bakrid.
Yeah.
That is also animal
Kurbani.
sacrifice. It's there in
Kurbani, yeah.
every Christianity is also there is animal sacrifice. Animal sacrifice, which means what? That which you eat, you offer first to Paramatma and then you consume. If it is vegetarian, you put dhanyas there as havis. If it is non-vegetarian, you put goat, sheep, and all of those things, which stopped later on.
Sunil, did Shankaracharya play a role? That's what they say. When he went around India, he stopped
Buddhism.
many of these tantric practices of offering.
In Buddha, no, in Buddhism, I think Buddhism is the main factor.
Yeah.
Buddhism and
No, but I
Jain
heard of Shankaracharya doing it also.
right?
No, after that, all the acharyas, like in our thing, in the Dvaita Sampradaya, it's Pishta Pashu. That means in the flower they make the shape of Pashu, and they put that. So they put animal, but now it is a shape like a doll made of flour. So they put that. It's called Pishta Pashu. They use
So
Pishta
these
Pashu.
acharyas have played quite a big role in controlling all this.
No. What they've said is in Kali Yuga there is no animal sacrifice. So instead of animal sacrificing, you have to sacrifice. You have to offer Pishta Pashu. Animals in the like flower that you make it in the form of animals and then offer that. That's what is offered in the homas. So, but animal was sacrificed. So there's no denying that fact. I mean, it's what they ate, they offered, and they were like non-vegetarians. And all the kshatriyas ate meat. So
So this is the argument used by those who who want to show that Muslims are also not doing anything different from Hindus. They use this argument.
In a literal sense, they are right, but it's eons, right? We moved away from those practices.
Yeah, it is better to move away.
Yeah.
Everybody should move away from harming, because when the numbers are less, it is okay.
Yeah,
when
that's
the numbers
argument
are
I
more,
use. Yeah.
It's like when the industrialized milk is bad.
Correct.
Milk is not bad, like that, right? So industrialized, like at scale, if you start beheading all of this, that's not good. So that is what Kali Yuga is the number of it's the age of numbers, right? It's the age of huge numbers. So when things that were good in small instances scaled up, it's bad, and that's what has happened with in the Hindu dharma is they have said, instead of offering the animal, offer Pishta Pashu. So and that's what has happened.
Pishta Pashu.
Pishta. Pishta means this one, hittu. That is the flour.
Okay, got that. Huh.
Hittu. Like ragi flour, you have rice. Those that is called crushed rice flour.
Got that.
That is pishta. Pishta pashu means that when you put some water and make it into a gum kind of thing and make a shape of a animal, that is offered. That's called pishta pashu. So instead of pashu, when the mantras calls for offering a pashu, they offer pishta pashu in it.
But even today, those who are Devi worshippers, they still offer bali.
Yes, they offer bali, correct.
And they say it's very powerful also. They say that.
Everybody says everything.
Yeah. It's I think Sana, we are completely going in a different direction.
Yeah, it's like,
But,
yeah. See, that is tamasika. See, what the animal sacrifice is tamasa. In this day and age, sacrificing an animal is tamasa. It's cruelty. That pristineness is gone.
Maybe I'll just make a short point here, and so you see, there is through sadhana in the sattvic ways, one can actually increase their energy levels and get so much out of the universe that we are in it. So these are all very what you call is emotional, and also is saying that if you do this is the pala. That's not been that. So accelerating our sadhana and us aligning with the cosmic energy is the most important part of enlightenment, or seeing things through. And I've seen enough number of examples so far how people are able to achieve some of the grandest things just by the sadhana. This is all. They don't go to temples. They don't go on these kind of rituals. There are many examples even in this contemporary world.
But again,
No, Srini, I have met
achieving.
enough people who are also advocating on the other side. So there are two schools of thought. So I mean, those who stand
Advocating
by it,
what?
Pashu Bali, there are those who do it in a limited way, but they say that it gives a lot of power. And I don't know. I mean, they also
No. It is nishiddha. So it is nishiddha. Pashu Bali is nishiddha.
No, for their Devi worship, they say that they do it.
But that's tamasa, right? Devi needs blood. That is tamas. But that basically what you're doing is what Krishna said, don't do. He said, there's an easy path. You want to do all of those things. You don't do. That is nishiddha.
But that's what they think that is easy. What I'm just telling about the other school of thought. They say that is quicker and faster, they say, and easier. But I don't know.
So if Krishna says something and they say something else, who will you take?
I will take Krishna, but doesn't mean that I will call those people as stupid or ignorant. I will say that they probably also know something. I won't.
No, they will not know something because they are against Vedanta. I mean, if the Brahma Sutra says something and they do something else and say they know something, they don't know something. So we should keep it simple. It's not like 100 people know 100 different things. No. When the Vedanta says this is the right thing to do, there are many types of right things, but also there is wrong things. So you should not deny wrong things. So denying wrong things doesn't make one right thing. There are many right things, but there are also wrong things. You should say wrong is wrong. To say right is right, you should also say wrong is wrong. But anyway, that is why the guide to everything is the Brahma Sutras and these mantras. And one of the great, I mentioned about Raghavendra Aradhana coming up this month, in the end of this month. He went, there were thousands of people in Mantralayam when he actually went to, like Vrindavana, right, alive. He went into Samadhi alive. And he's said to have, given the last upadesha in like a farewell speech. It's a beautiful speech where he says, don't follow for these siddhis. He says, anybody can get siddhi. Siddhi doesn't prove anything. Oh no, I get power. Even a bad person gets power. Asuras are very powerful. They get all this power. He says, power is not, jnana is the real power. From jnana comes the real power. All these sadhanas, all these siddhis, those are asuric, he says. It's like, I can exercise and gain muscles. That doesn't prove anything. Does it prove that I'm a good person? No. It just proves that you have done exercise. He has beautifully said, power is not an indicator of goodness or rightness. Power is an indicator of a sadhana that has been done, which a good person can also do, a bad person can also do. That is what the society is full of, right? You have a lot of tantrics who become big gurus, and they do some things and they cure some disease. They become internet gurus. They are not the gurus, because that if it might have come from, even if I chant 100,000 times something and then do some homas, I will get a siddhi to do something. It doesn't make me a jnani. It just makes me a person who is a siddha purusha. It's not a good person, and asura can also be siddha purusha. So very, very important not to confuse powers with knowledge. What we are into is knowledge, not powers.
So that's true, but they are also wreaking havoc. These people who are accessing these kind of whatever powers, even if we consider them negative.
It is negative.
Even
so
but then
just
they
because
are,
somebody can cure something doesn't make them jnanis.
I mean, they are powerful in, like, if you take even the Muslims, whatever they are doing, whatever they have done, they have increased their own power and their influence.
They are what?
Managed. The Muslims also. Whatever they are doing, they're training their people, young people also, to not be afraid of blood or anything like that, right? Or whatever they are doing. Anyway, that's a different discussion. So let's
that's fine. But what I'm saying
I think that's where we can draw the difference between the yogis and the siddhis. Like you said, siddhis are the ones, siddhas are the ones who have gained control over the material nature and have supernatural powers, energies and such. Whereas yogis are the higher order with spiritual power, which is which can actually manage the material nature, the prakriti, from the realm of the conscious and the higher spiritual being. I guess the yogis are considered as a more advanced, like you said, the jnanis, the yogis, are the realized ones who really don't gain siddhi powers, because that distracts them from their goal of becoming more of spiritual beings at a higher level.
And that's what it has been said, that don't focus on powers, focus on knowledge and bhakti and all of that, because that is the real power. That brings the power. Our goodness and our knowledge and the bhakti, that brings power.
Sunil,
yeah.
So are you saying these 18 siddhas are tantrics?
If the siddhi is without jnana, the right knowledge, if it is for the exercise of power.
I'm just asking about the 18 siddhas, right? That we were giving you an example of Bhoga Maharishi, right?
No, I'm not talking about marriage. I'm talking about those who have got this siddhi through a certain practice, and you can see them around.
But we cannot call them as siddhas. They're not siddhas.
No, the siddhas. Etymologically, I'm saying siddhas means those who have attained siddhi.
Okay.
That means
somebody like Chandrasekhar, or somebody I used to hear that has immense power and all that during a certain point in time. Those kind of people who actually spoil our thought about the Vedanta and things like that.
Yeah, and what happens is, they'll say something, or they'll do something, right, that cures you of some ailment, or that they predict some future. They'll say, and this happens. naturally you'll be, oh, they're the greatest in the world. But that is the bad thing. They have some siddhi through which they've accomplished that. But that is just like having muscles after doing exercise. It is not a pointer to knowledge. It's not a pointer to the actual bhakti and the sadhana. The real sadhana that the Vedanta is talking about is different from acquiring power. Right? It's very, very clearly stated. Do not fall for power. Right? It is actually self-destructive. Those are the ones that will destroy. And we have heard, the people who tried to do something and then things were found out on the internet, right? All of those people, they are a black mark on our actual yogis who have the real sadhana. There is goodness, there is bhakti, there is all of those things. That is the real thing. Is that is what is worth, not somebody curing you and doing all of those things. No, that is not, because anybody can do it. Even a bad person can do it. A good person can also do it. A good person gets the power from Paramatma, from knowledge. A bad person does it from practice. That's
I
it.
think we can draw the the differences as siddhis are like they have a desire to achieve a certain supernatural power. It's a
Yes.
desire-based aspect of sadhana, whereas yogis are the ones who are doing it through longing or a jignasa, or the power of their seeking truth without end result in mind.
Correct.
So that gives more of a higher order of exploration or seeking higher levels of.
And these yogis are the ones who will not show you that it's not for show, right? If you want to do them to do something, they'll tell you the right royal way of doing it, through a lot of work and all of those. They'll provide you guidance. They'll not show, see, look at this, I'm going to do this, and it's going to change. They're not going to do miracles, right?
Yeah,
The miracles will not be done.
There is an example, people went and asked Ramana Maharishi, are you God? And then he said, if I am God, you would know. And then if I am God, then I won't tell you, because I'm fully contented, right? I'm fully contented if I am God. I'm not going to tell you I am God. And then, if you know me, I am a God, then you won't ask this question.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's like that. So it's the jnani, it's nothing else, like you were trying to say.
Real yogis are jnanis who don't show. It's not for show. It's not for acquiring prominence and power. They'll be the last ones to kind of, do all of those. So that is the one. That is the real one. Right? So don't fall for siddhis. Don't fall for miracles. Even a bad person can do miracles. So don't fall for it.
Yeah, it looks like yogis let the process unfold in front of them and go with the path in which they're progressing without an end desire. The desire could be, it's not a desire, it's a longing just to know, just because, for example, a mountaineer, he wants to, when Edmund Hillary was asked about, why did you climb Mount Everest? He said, it's there, just because it's there. So the yogis, I suppose, are the ones who are essentially finding a path along the way, and without any inherent desire to achieve any power other than to know the truth and then explore and then get to the destination. I think that's the true yogi versus the siddhis and the siddhas that have very specific end results and the means for which they would go towards achieving them.
Yes. I mean, all of the tantric texts are full of this. You do this, you'll get the power of Akarshana Shakti, Vashikarana Shakti, this Shakti, that Shakti. But that's self-destructive. Basically, that's self-destructive. Because in all of these books, they say, if you exercise this, it is going to come back and hit you. Right? All of these things are there is some supernatural thing to it, but that is something that comes back to hit us. So, that is all nishiddha. You should not even think of those, fall for those. It will be very glamorous, but he says, keep away from glamour. The right royal way is this. That is very important to understand. Okay. So I think we have finished this now. The creation the last step of creation is. So first one was Paramatma in the first 5 mantras, describing him, and then the Virad, that's a Jada Prakriti, was within which Hiranyagarbha was there, and then all of the Devas came, and then they offered their Ahankaras and all of those for the creation. The power of procreation for the Rupatmaka Prapancha came, and then the power of the knowledge, Namatmaka Prapancha, both of them came out. And then all of the animal kingdom, plant and animal kingdom came up, right? And now the last step of creation is creation of man. So that is the next final part of, is the next last Purusha is who? Man is the last Purusha. And within him is Paramatma, who is the Purusha. So his 3 forms is, one is the Parama Purusha, who the second one is that Adi Purusha, and then the third one is Purusha, who is Antaryami within. And the 3 Purushas is Parama Purusha before creation, Adi Purusha, Hiranyagarbha, and then also Purusha Pashu, Ankara Tattva Abhimani, and then Purusha, man. These are the 3 Purushas. It's talking about 3 different Purushas, right? So final step is, like I said, Arvak Srotas is the creation of those with alimentary canals from top to bottom. They eat at the top, excrete at the bottom. So that is the alimentary canal going top to bottom. That is man. I mean, of course, apes, all of those, everything with alimentary canal top to bottom will be the last one. The final step of creation is that. So that is, we'll take up in the next class, right? So creation is 9 steps. We have gone through 8 steps, and the last portion of it will be the first 6 steps. Is first of all, first 5 verses of Purusha Sukta is about just the Paramatma. The next 5 plus 1 we added from the second portion. So the next 6 is about the Mahat Tattva all the way to the Tiriyak Srotas. That means alimentary canal from side to side, animal. So all of the animal kingdom until animal kingdom creation. So final step is the creation of man, and that we will take it up next time.
Sunil?
Okay, any questions?
Okay. Thank you.
So is this order has anything to do with that spreadsheet, what you had from Vishnu? You had all the devas, and then, like you had...
Yes. Yeah, that is the creation, the order of creation, that is.
Yeah.
But it's only the devatas.
Mm-hmm.
But the order of creation, see, first is Mahat, then Ankara Tattva, and their Abhimani Devatas come. Then you have Bhuta Sarga and their Abhimani Devatas. Then Aindriya Sarga, their Abhimani Devatas, Devata Sarga, and then you have the Urdhva Srotas Srishti, Tiriyak Srotas Srishti, and finally Arvak Srotas with this man. So that it's a stage. It's one by one. It is not miracle. Nothing is miracle. Everything happened as a process of one creating another, creating another, creating another. It's a process over time, and it is in all the Puranas. That is what it says. It's Paraspara Sambhuti in 9 stages. Prakrita Sarga is 6th stage, which is all the Abhimani Devatas and all the ingredients needed for creation. And then Vikrita Sarga is creation of life. From first is plant, next is animals, and last is man.
Okay, thanks.
So that is this. So this Purusha Sukta is talking about final step is going to talk about man, the creation of man, who is an image of Paramatma. It's not the other way. We are not representing Paramatma as anthropomorphic in our shape. We are in his shape. He came to the anthropomorphic shape. We are in that shape. And then there is a link to Jyotisha and all of those things, because from each organ, when these things come out, they rule that organ. So all of the principles, fundamental principles of Jyotisha and all that come from the final part of this. So we'll go in detail into that, right? So that will be the last part of Purusha Sukta next time. So any questions? I didn't see any interesting questions today.
Actually, can I ask something, Sunil, regarding on the
Yes.
topic of creation,
Yes.
on the evolution? I just want to draw some parallels. The scientific way of exploration about evolution is more in the dimension of space and time and nature and material stuff, which is everything had a timeline, which is based on how far back that the creation happened or evolution happened over a period of time. That is
Yes.
in the dimension of time, and of course space and not prakriti, which is basically the limits of the scientific exploration in figuring out creation and evolution aspects of it. It's limited to in time and space and material stuff, which is prakriti. Whereas our spiritual systems in India, that is the Vedas, they have another dimension, which is the consciousness, in terms of not just time and space, material stuff, prakriti, but also, like you said, Paramatma, which is a dimension of consciousness, super consciousness, which is an element of another dimension, which is independent of both space and time, and the evolution of consciousness, which is like you have these koshas, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. These are all the different ways of how the conscious beings, sentient beings, are evolving themselves from timeless, and they're independent of time and everything else, right?
No, see, Panchakoshas are there in all animals, plants, and man, right? And the expressions are different, correct? See, the Annamaya Kosha is nothing but body. The physical, Annamaya Kosha is nothing but Bhu, the Prithvi Tattva, Jala Tattva, Agni Tattva. The physical
sentience, right? Yes.
Frame, the frame, right? So the Annamaya Kosha is both the physical body as well as inanimate, like in a stone also has Annamaya Kosha.
Right.
Right, it's the physical frame of beings. That's the Annamaya. Pranamaya Kosha is the animation. So that is in the animated beings.
Right.
That's the Prana Shakti, the pulse, the heartbeat, the movement, that all of those things. That is not in the rock, but that is in living beings. Manomaya Kosha is the Indriyas, the Pancha Karma Indriyas, Pancha Jnana Indriyas, and the Manas. All of them help to know, right? That is there. Vijnanamaya Kosha is our buddhi, chetana, the chitta. That is the higher order functions where you can decide, judge, and think, and all those things, abstract things and all that. That is the Vijnanamaya. Anandamaya Kosha is our jiva chetana itself. Ananda is our chetana. So this is there in all of the, like even in animals, it's there, but it's not expressed fully. In man, it is fully expressed. And that's why man is called Purusha. Puru means full. Puru means full. That means that in whom it's fully expressed, it's Purusha. It's one of the etymology of why is man Purusha? Because it's fully expressed. It's fully expressed. That means for sadhana, everything is fully available.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
And essentially the bodies that are specified or that were given out in scripture or in spiritual nature, which is the Stula Sarira, which is the gross body, and then the Linga Sharira, which is the subtle body, which is the mind and consciousness, and then the causal, the Karana Sharira, which is
Ajnana. That's big, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. And so these are all different aspects of what you can call evolution through one's consciousness, or through our Vedas and our spiritual systems have explored this very unique dimension, which is not addressed by science because they don't even get into they're not even aware of. Nobody explores those things. Science is very limited to material, time, and space elements, whereas our spiritual and Vedic systems have really taken this dimension of evolution, or what you call a progression in consciousness through all these elements. This is another dimension that science doesn't have, which
what this verse is, what Purusha Sukta is saying is everything is front loaded. Indriyas were available before we got Indriyas. before the animals were got indriyas. It was already there in creation, right? And so
Right.
various levels of those expressions. For example, animals have the grana shakti, smell is more in the animals than in man, right? So the expression, various levels of expression of manas, buddhi shakti, all of those things are full as required for sadhana in man. Whether they do the sadhana or not is a separate thing. But if they want to do the sadhana, can they do that? Yes. Can a dog do sadhana? No, because the tools required, the instruments required to do sadhana is not fully expressed and fully developed in them, even though all of them are available in the dog equally like it's available in us. Both of them have panchakoshas. Everything is frontal. Everything is there. Indriyas are there. But the expression is in man only, which is what the next one will say. The next final part of this Purusha Sukta will say the creation of man, and then how all of these got expressed and how it is and all that. So
And is it also similar to say, like, there are different levels of beings, which are the gross beings, the more subtle beings that have advanced, evolved, and then the like devas are the divine beings who have more evolved in their abilities or their gnana or through spiritual consciousness, that they've evolved into higher beings. And then
No.
Paramatma is the highest of all. So
there is no evolved.
the...
There no evolved. No, evolution is only from the 6th step, 7th, 8th, 9th. But devas come before.
Okay.
It's not like man has evolved into devas. No, man is a final step. There's nothing after man. Man is the epitome of creation, of life. There is nothing after man. I know, they say man is going to evolve into something, but according to Vedanta, man is the final step.
Okay.
So actually the earliest step is devas, because you need them, the abhimani devatas, indriyas and all of them, they are needed because they are the one that run the body. They have to come first, and then final step is man. So man is the final one. There's nothing after man. Okay. So we will do the final part of it next week, next Sunday, and wrap this up. And that is the final step, is in the step of creation, is the creation of man. And so the Rishi talks about man and the parts of man and how it got represented. It's going to talk about the Purusha Vidha. That means the man, the Paramatma in the shape of man, how we are his image and what came out of it and how those control us. All of those things comes in the final portion. So there's a very interesting astrological thing. Astrology's fundamentals come from this. A lot of fundamentals come from this. Is all of this mantras. So we'll go into that and see how it is and all that. Okay. So let's finish with the prayer. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatkurum. Om. So we'll take it up next week. See you then.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you.